12 shootings spanning just under 24 hours across Austin. Now 3 teenagers are in custody, and APD is releasing a timeline of the chaos.
Tomorrow night will likely get stormy here in the Austin area with a widespread line coming in around midnight or so. And this will be just the beginning of a very active pattern through the rest of the week. I'll talk rainfall totals and severe weather potential coming up.
And then after a deadly shooting at a Northeast Travis County restaurant, a family is suing, saying they failed to have adequate security on a very busy night. Good evening and thanks for joining us for KVUE News at 6. I'm Mark Mullins. And developing tonight in Austin, KVUE has learned the name of one of the teenagers arrested after a chaotic crime spree in Austin over the weekend. 17-year-old Christian Mondragon faces charges tied to 12 shootings and at least 5 car thefts that stretched from Saturday into Sunday. APD now says some of these shootings were random, others were targeted. KVUE's Brianna Perez is digging into that extensive timeline and joining us now from the newsroom to explain. Bree.
Yeah, Mark, and we do want to warn you, this timeline is a lot. So many people got the alerts that APD first sent out a shelter in place for areas of South Austin, and then they told us that search had moved to north and then east into Manor. Police ended up arresting those 3 teens by 9 p.m. last night. Now, APD says it all started with a gun theft from Central Texas Gun Works in South Austin at around 11:30 a.m. Saturday. And then police say the suspects drove to 4 spots around Southeast Austin, shooting at a trailer, 2 apartments, and an unoccupied house. No one was hurt in those shootings. Then around 7 p.m., they say the suspects stole a car from a motel near I-35 in Altworth, then went to Central East Austin, shooting at a business, a fire station, and at a car on Purple Sage Drive. It wasn't until almost 4 a.m. Sunday that police say the suspects stole another car from South Austin, and then around 8:45 a.m. they shot someone in the back and stomach on Janes Ranch Road before shooting at another fire station. In that time frame is also when APD started to recover stolen cars. At around 1:30, another car stolen, and they shot and injured 2 more people on Burton Drive and fired shots at more locations in Southeast Austin before injuring someone on Deanda Lane east of the airport. That person is still in the hospital now. And just before 3:30 is when APD got the alert that the car the suspects were in was in Manor. So in total, APD says that there were 12 shootings. 4 people were hurt and 4 homes were hit by gunfire along with those 2 fire stations. And I just finished speaking with the fire union leader who walks us through that experience and his message for other firefighters. Tonight I'll have that conversation coming up on KVUE News at 10. Mark.
We'll be checking in for that, Bree. Thank you. And Bree, this crime spree, along with the hours-long search that followed, is now renewing conversations about the use of license plate reader cameras in Austin. So those cameras can scan cars on roadways and ping law enforcement if they find one tied to a crime. Back in 2023, city leaders approved a 1-year pilot program to deploy LPR cameras on Austin streets. That program didn't get up and running until 2024, but last June, council members allowed the LPR contract with Flock Safety to lapse due to privacy and data storage concerns. Yesterday, Chief Lisa Davis told us that she's open to having more conversations about bringing LPRs back to Austin. And Mayor Kirk Watson said having them would have been helpful in this situation. During an early voting event today, Governor Greg Abbott also said LPRs could have helped find these suspects faster.
DPS uses them, as do police departments in many jurisdictions across the state of Texas, and they find it far easier and far quicker to solve crimes and actually prevent crimes. And it's just one of the ways in which Travis County and the city of Austin are behind the ball.
As of now, no city leader has put forth a formal proposal to bring LPRs back to city streets. Breaking updates from California tonight. Police in San Diego say they are treating a shooting attack at a mosque as a hate crime. This happened at the Islamic Center of San Diego. Police say 3 adult victims are dead and 2 suspected shooters, 17 and 19 years old, took their own lives. That campus also includes a school. Police do say no children were hurt in this. Let's give you a live look outside this afternoon. It's clear for now, but we are tracking some higher storm chances coming our way tomorrow night. So let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams with the timing of that. Hey, Hunter.
Yeah, I think about 8 to 9 p.m. at the earliest tomorrow evening is when storm potential will begin. We'll talk more about it coming up in a few minutes.
Well, it has been just under 2 weeks since a fight inside a restaurant in northeast Travis County escalated to gunfire, injuring multiple people and killing 27-year-old Michael Jones. Now Jones's loved ones are suing, arguing that Down South Cajun Eats did not have ample security. KVUE's Jessica Cha spoke with Michael's mother and the family's attorney about what they hope this lawsuit does. Jessica.
Yeah, Mark. Jones's family says they still haven't been able to wrap their heads around Michael being gone, but they say they want people to know that Michael was more than a shooting victim. He's a father, a son, a friend, and was just a bystander. And they want answers.
Come on, Mike!
To match his 6'4" stature, Michael Jones's mother says his personality was larger than life.
Any sport that had to do with the ball, he was playing it.
And she says he had an even bigger heart.
He was a family man. He loved his family. He loved his kids. That was his everything.
In the very early morning of May 6th, during a late-night family hangout, Hartman says Michael went to pick up some food from Down South Cajun Eats.
He placed his order. He left the house to go pick up his order, and that was the last time I saw my son.
According to Austin police, just before 2 a.m., a fight broke out inside the restaurant during a Cinco de Mayo event, and then someone started shooting. And it all spilled outside where Michael was shot and killed.
He was supposed to come home to his children. He had promised them, "Daddy, be right back. I'm just going to get my food," and never come back.
And Michael's family says they want answers.
And we are in the process of filing a lawsuit against the location of Down South Cajun Eats, as well as the property owners on which that business resides.
Rob Renko represents Michael's family and says the restaurant wasn't scheduled to open on Cinco de Mayo. Cajun Eats is typically closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
They publicized it through their social media. They had $2 tequila shots, $2 margaritas, $2 beers, and they invited everybody to come to their premises for this all-night party. The shooting happened around 1:30 in the morning. This was a nightclub.
In a statement that the owners of the restaurant released the afternoon after the shooting, they said they had security on site during the event. But Renko says there's not much proof of that.
We know that there was posted on the property a sign that says no firearms or weapons allowed on the property. They did nothing to enforce that policy.
And Renko says he hopes the lawsuit leads to some answers for Michael's family because they say they're lost without him.
We deserve answers. His children deserve answers.
We reached out to Cajun Eats for a response to this new lawsuit, and in an email, the owners told me that they will reserve all comments until after the investigation into this shooting is completed. In the studio, Jessica Cha, KVUE News.
Jessica, thank you. And at this point, Austin police still have not named any suspects or charges tied to the shooting at Down South Cajun Eats. But the department is still asking anyone with information or video of what happened to submit it to investigators. If you know anything, you can scan that QR code you see there on your screen right now and send information to APD. After state lawmakers approved sweeping changes to summer camp safety rules in Texas, fewer camps are preparing to open this summer. Lawmakers implemented those changes after the tragedy at Camp Mystic in Kerr County last July. 25 campers, 2 counselors, and the camp's director died in the flash flooding there. The Texas Department of State Health Services posts weekly updates about how many camps have applied for or gotten new licenses for this summer. And as of Friday, 66 fewer camps are on that list. It's unclear if those camps have closed or if they are just scaling back operations so they don't need new licenses. Leaders at some camps have said the new safety rules are difficult to implement so quickly after last summer. About 20 camps sued the state health department last month over a new requirement that they have to access to fiber internet, saying it was either impossible to get or too costly. But since then, DSHS has waived that specific requirement, saying camps can still open as long as they follow all the other new safety rules. Of the 316 licensed youth camps in Texas, DSHS has approved new licenses for 47 of them. Most of them will still be able to operate through the summer because their current licenses haven't expired or their applications are still pending. Still ahead here at 6, it is time to vote. Texas early voting now underway for the highly anticipated primary runoff election here in Texas. Plus, Austin city leaders want to better track water use at big industrial facilities like data centers, but regulating those facilities may not be so simple. Early voting is now underway for the primary runoff elections. Voters will decide who they want to represent their party in the November midterm elections. Perhaps the biggest race we're following is the heated Republican U.S. Senate primary race between incumbent Senator John Cornyn or Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Cornyn made a campaign stop in Austin after voting today and said while he was proud to come in first in the March primary, turnout was low then. He's urging more Texans to make their voices heard.
Why 75% or 3/4 of registered voters in the state of Texas would want to delegate their vote to the people who actually showed up and vote is something very hard for me to understand. Because we need all Texans, all 18.6 million registered voters in the state, we need all Texans to participate in the process.
Paxton is hosting a campaign event in Tyler tonight. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. from today until Friday. And by the way, Election Day is next Tuesday, the 26th. For more details on what's on your ballot and what to expect at polling sites, check out the KVUE Voter Guide. Just text the word VOTE to that number you see there on your screen. That number is 512-459-9442, and we will send you a link with helpful information.
Coming up in sports, the two biggest figures in Austin FC are out. The search for a new head coach and sporting director begins now. Hear what Nico Estevez had to say just days before the team let him go. We have that and more later in the show in sports.
Welcome back. City leaders in Austin are looking for a better way to track and regulate water use by large volume users. During a Climate, Water and Environment Committee meeting today, leaders said things like data center growth or developments like semiconductor manufacturing may put a strain on local water supply. But the city's current rules for large users mostly rely on the square footage of a facility. And utility leaders say it's often hard to know where those large users will be until they're up and running.
Right now, today, we are kind of having to use online research and other things like that to identify those that may be existing in our service area.
Leaders floated the idea of requiring those large users to reuse water, which many of the newer developments in Texas have committed to. According to Baxtel, which tracks data center development around the world, the Austin region is home to about 80 of those facilities now. In a post on the City Council's message board Friday, 5 council members said they plan to direct the city manager to come up with a way to regulate those developments through land use restrictions or other means by July. However, they did acknowledge today many data centers are built outside of city limits, so their rulemaking may be limited. Hunter's back with a check of the forecast, and it's a weather impact alert because you've got storms you're tracking through the week.
Yeah, the first round we're keeping an eye on is going to be tomorrow night. In Austin, it's going to be pretty late, probably about 11 o'clock or midnight as storms are coming in. But this is also just the beginning of a pretty active weather pattern that will feature many rounds of rain and storms and maybe even some flooding. So let me show you what's going on out there right now. Live view from our Line Hotel weather camera. No storms yet. It has been just hot and muggy today, also a little hazy out there. So we're going to have more details on this as we get closer, but for now we're focusing on tomorrow night, a severe and flood threat, but we'll likely have some more concerns like that as we go beyond into the Memorial Day weekend.
If the current Austin FC season was a movie, today's scene will make you lean forward, turn the volume up, and say, whoa. Head coach Nico Estevez and sporting director Rodolfo Burrell are both out. Firing both of these on the same day in the middle of the season sends the message that ownership thought the team was not well coached enough or as talented as it should be. Some lowlights that likely led to this decision are on your screen right now. Austin has yet to win a road game. They lost to Louisville City, a team from a lower division, the USL, and on Saturday they lost at home to Kansas City. That's important because Kansas City is the worst team in the conference and a group that had been shut out in 4 of its 6 previous games. After Saturday's loss, Estevez told us he feels like he's taken the blame for shortcomings that he had nothing to do with.
I have to carry what is happening right now that is not good. But I feel sometimes that we take all the years that the club didn't do well in my shoulders, and I don't think it's fair that, Me as a leader, I'm not doing the things in the right direction, and I'm not putting these players in a position to win more games.
Well, it seems like ownership agrees with that last thing he said there. The Verde and Black play at St. Louis this weekend and then are off for 7 weeks during the league's World Cup break. In the NBA, the Spurs tip off the Western Conference Finals tonight in Oklahoma City. That matchup has been kind to San Antonio. They won the regular season series against OKC 4-1. Highlights and reaction from tonight's playoff matchup tonight at 10. Back with more straight ahead.
Welcome back. Final check of our 7-day forecast. A weather impact alert for tomorrow late evening into tomorrow night. A widespread round of storms is likely, and some of those could be strong to severe, and there even could be some locally heavy rain too. This just kicks off an active pattern which continues into the Memorial Day weekend.
So you want to keep checking in with Hunter.
Yeah.
We'll see you back here at 10.